It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. If this is your very first time tuning into us, a huge welcome. The Divas That Care is in its 13th year, and we're listened to in over 30 countries around the world. And it has been my pleasure to be doing this. It is so much fun, honestly. We have a group of amazing hosts on the Divas That Care network. We've been able to interview so many people around the world, and it's kind of our paying it forward. We're always about collaboration and inspiring people. And today, I am very excited. Today is a special show. I'm going to be interviewing an amazing woman that I have known for over 30 years. And this woman has been an inspiration in my life. I don't think she knows that, but she's done so many things. And I've looked up to her, and I've seen that, and I'm like, wow, look at all that she's done and how much she wants to do and, you know, basically to make the world a better place. So it is so much fun, and I'm so excited about today. So welcome to the show, Robin Armitage.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, but you made me cry, so now you have to just wait till my voice goes normal again. So,
oh, Robin, I am so beyond grateful that you've taken the time today to chat with me, and I can't wait for the world to get to know you.
Oh, thank you.
Robin, would you mind introducing yourself to our listeners today? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you love to do.
Wow. Well, I actually was born in the city where I live now. I traveled a little bit in between and lived in a few different places, but I've lived here most of my life in Red Deer, Alberta. When I was born, I was breech. And my grandpa said, when he saw I had red hair, he said, oh, my goodness, for a pair of young people, you sure are rusty to my parents. So I think I didn't really get off to a great start, but I turned out okay, I think. And the things I love to do, I love to do so many things. I just enjoy life. I grew up without a lot. So I learned to appreciate little things, and some people were kind to me. It's very important. A little smile, you never know. You just don't ever know what a difference that makes in somebody's life, or just being kind. And I'm more than grateful for the people like that. I had some teachers that were amazing, and I gleaned from everybody that how I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be that person that was nice and appreciated. So, and I love to give. People don't realize how much they get from giving. And I don't mean you get business, because lots of people just do things to get business, and I don't buy that. But when you do for somebody else and you make them happy, it makes you happy. So the more you do, the happier you are.
I love that. And you have definitely been that. And I've seen that over the years. I've seen the things that you've done, and I've just been in awe of you. Not only are you a successful businesswoman that has been a part of Party Light for 25 years, and oh my gosh, that in itself is such an extraordinary feat. It's blowing me away that I'm like, you've been doing this for 25 years? Because I've remembered over the years all the stuff that you've done. Tell me about that, because there's a lot of other things I really want to mention today about you, but why did you decide to get into a business like that, and why did you decide to continue with it?
Actually, that's kind of a funny story, because I had shows for 2 years because I liked the product, but I had no money at the time. And so that was a way for me to get deals on product. And then the girl who did my shows one day, it was taking me to a launch, and I just applied for college and been accepted because I wanted to be a lawyer. So I was going back to school to be a lawyer. And but I said, but now I'm going to have to get a part-time job while I'm going to school. And she said, well, why don't you do Party Light? And I went, no. And she's like, whoa. And I was like, well, I have to make enough money to pay my way through school. And she said, I bet you can make more money doing this than you can something else. And I was like, really? Anyway, long story short, I started doing it, and I went to school and worked part-time, and I loved doing Party Light. And 3 years in, I realized, I think for me, I'm too honest to be a lawyer. Like, if I think something is not quite right, even though it's legally okay, I would, and that was the kind of law I wanted to do, was like a prosecutor or a defense attorney or something like that, because I thought it'd be exciting. But I loved the people I met, and I was having so much fun, and it still allowed me the time to volunteer and do the other work that I love to do, that it was great. And I could decorate my house, and it smells nice.
And it smells nice. Isn't that the truth? And it's such a cool thing. And so you've seen a lot of evolution. 25 years is a long time to be in one thing. So tell us a little bit about that, because I think some of our listeners, they'll be like, that long? Wow. What did you see? How did you evolve? Because as women in business, sometimes it's a challenge to change with the times. So can you share with us a little bit about how you've been successful in doing that?
Oh, that's absolutely true. Some people don't like change, but change is really good for you. If you don't ever get out of the box, you are never going anywhere. When we started Party Light, we had to write all of our numbers on a big long sheet and redo all the orders and put it on one big long sheet. And you had to get it to Purolator by 5 o'clock on Friday so that it counted for that, or by 5 o'clock the day before, so it would get in on time, and we had to pay for that, and it was not cheap. And then we went to online, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this, because I only was introduced to computers when I went back to college. So that's like 25 years ago too, and because I went as an adult student, and so then I got used to it, and then I was like, whoa, this is great. I loved doing my shows on computers. You could key it in. You didn't have to rush to the Purolator office, stand in line, and it was great. I was loving it. And then you could even order online sometimes, and that was great. And then during COVID at the very beginning, and it had nothing to do with COVID, they were going in that direction anyway, Party Light became strictly an online business. Luckily, I was in a group of women mentors, and we'd been challenged to do lives every day in our VIP group, which I'd already formed on Facebook for my business. So I was like, oh, no, I don't think I can do that. I don't like my voice. I don't want to see myself. No. She's like, well, you have to do it. It's the way of the future. And oh, my goodness. And so I started thinking, what can I do? I did the alphabet for 26 days of the 30 that we had to do, because they've got to do it for a month, and it had to be at least a minute. And I would do all the words in A, and then go through words that I knew in B. And sometimes it was about Party Light. Sometimes it was just about the challenges of COVID, because by now we're into COVID, and made jokes about it, and because there were lots of funny things that you could think of, and I was shocked at the number of people who actually watched, and I had fun. And my customers had fun. And even on the days that I didn't even talk about Party Light, there were sales. It was craziness. And a lot of people that were in Party Light quit then and went to do something else. But I was not surprised when it happened, because they were giving so much free stuff for having a show that I just kept thinking, for business sense, if you know business, you can't do that on a prolonged basis, right? So, and now everything is online. I have my Facebook group of VIPs, and we do fun things, but people either order themselves online, or I do VIP orders, and if they live close to me, and then they can pick stuff up, and it saves a little bit of shipping.
And I love how you did it through a time when, you know, obviously we couldn't be in physical contact with people, but it actually helped your business thrive, didn't it? You know, a lot of people have been very scared of showing your face and doing the videos and doing that, and it's that challenge, and I love how you overcame that, but you thrived in it, and that's in for itself, ladies and gentlemen out there. You know, like, sometimes you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone in order to do that. And Robin, I just love it, because that's just one thing about you that has always inspired me, that you're not scared of trying new things.
Yes, sometimes I go a little crazy, but you know where I learned that? I learned that I had a really bad depressive disorder at one point, and when I was getting better, my doctor told me about a book, and it was by David Burns, and for some reason, I can't remember the name of it. But in the book, I'm sure it said lots of things, but what I remember most was it said, every day, do something that you didn't do the day before. Hey, at that time, the big excitement in my life is twice a week I change my nightgown. Like I was in a dark place, and people who know me are like, are you kidding me? But everybody is susceptible, right? And I started with, I'll get dressed every day. And so for a week I did that, and then it said add something else. So then I'd put my makeup on, and then I'd take my son's dog for a walk, and I started going, and pretty soon I was better. And I had medication, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying medication isn't good, because it is, but it was great. And I actually was on the board for mental health for 10 years because I wanted to be able to give back, because I think that when we have a challenge, we need to share those things with people, because it helps somebody else. You never know when that little spot in your life that you're quite ashamed of, because people are, right? People don't, there's still that stigma, right? And so if you talk about things, then there won't be a stigma, and somebody else will be better for it.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
I always want to make a difference if it helps one other person to put one foot in front of the other, I'm happy.
And that's what I've always known about you. You've always been a person that is about kindness, like you mentioned. You're about paying it forward. And that kind of leads me into something that I've always been extraordinarily proud of you, I guess you could say, or in awe of you. You always give back so much. You've always been one of those people that has been a huge part of the community. You always volunteer. And I want to talk about that, because you mentioned that a lot of our other podcasts, we've talked about balance and things in your lives and having a why and being able to do, more than just yourself. So tell me about why you've decided to volunteer all these years and the types of things that you have volunteered for.
Started a long time ago, and people would ask me to help with things, and my mom was really good. Like, I remember we had friends who, their kids, their whole family had whooping cough. And my mom would bring all their sheets, because of course the kids would be sick, and then their sheets are all, and my mom would, we had nothing. But my mom would bring their sheets and wash all their things. And I remember that I remember thinking, wow, she does a lot of work to help them. And then a few months after that, the father won an award where he worked, and he had points that you could get things, and he gave some to my mom, and my brother got a truck, and us girls got skates, and we would never have been able to afford to buy those, ever. And I remember thinking, wow, that's crazy that he would do that. And you don't do for what you get, and that's what my mom said. Don't ever think that because you do for somebody, you're going to get stuff back, because probably you won't. But you get a happy heart. And she knit for the Christmas Bureau for years, and I saw that. And so sometimes people would just say to me, would you mind doing this? And a friend said to me one time, early in the women's shelter, when they first started, we want you to come and help with fundraising because you're so good at getting people to help with things. But when I went, I said, I don't think we need somebody doing fundraising. We need somebody who does some public education because people don't even know about you yet. Why would they give you money? So for a year, I did public education. Then for a year, I did fundraising. And then I was the president for 2 years. And you were only allowed to stay for 4. That was their term then. And while I was there, I was asked to be on the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters. So it's just kind of like, and then when people know what you do and that you do a good job, they just ask you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to learn to say no because sometimes it can get a little crazy. But, yeah, because sometimes I was doing like 3 different boards and trying to raise my kids and work, and yeah, that was a little bit much. So I've learned that no works because you're not doing any favors if you're doing it and not doing a good job, right?
We need volunteers out there for things to be able to be successful.
Oh, absolutely. It makes the world go round.
It does. Can I ask you to maybe give our listeners some advice? You know, there's a lot of younger people because obviously you and we volunteered for many years, but we're getting older now. And how do we encourage younger individuals to start participating, to start volunteering? What can we give them for advice to know that it's a wonderful thing to do?
Oh, you know what? There are so many perks to doing it. It's fun. Most of the jobs you do, there's other people that want to be there. Sometimes it leads to employment for some people. I've seen people, not for me it hasn't, but for other people, I've seen them, they start volunteering for something and pretty soon they have a full-time job there. I was the chair for a school with kids who have challenges, and I would go there and I would see the difference in one little girl. I remember I squatted down to say hi to her, and she was just chatting away on me. And a year before, she was nonverbal. And my heart was so happy that I was a small part of that. It just, yeah. And one time I was invited to be in the celebrity dance-off, and you had to raise a lot of money. I did that. It was for Aspire, the school that I worked for, and it made me so happy to be able to do that. But the biggest thing I got from it was at the end, my son asked me to dance, which he never does, and he said, Mom, I just wanted to tell you how proud I am of you. And I was just like, that was like the best thing. I had fun. It was a great time. I met some amazing other people that I'm still friends with, and it was great. And it was like people cheered and laughed, and because we did kind of a funny one. And we entertained people, and that made me happy. But the best thing was my kid was proud of me, because how often do your kids say that, right?
I love that.
So
yeah,
that was the best part.
Oh, this is amazing. I am just so grateful that you've taken the time to chat with me today. I just love everything you're doing. I'm inspired that you've been with Party Life for 25 years. Wow, you don't hear that very often. And thank you so much for everything that you've been doing in Central Alberta for so many years. Everything. That's just a little bit of what she does, everybody. Like, she's been the Woman of the Year. She helps out raising money, helping out even with hockey. There's just so much, and very diverse. You're not one person that's picked a specific thing to volunteer at. You've been very broad in the things that you've helped people with.
Well, I love it. I love my hockey boys, that's for sure.
That's amazing. So can I ask you last-minute things? Do you have any tips, some tools, things you want to share with our amazing people that are listening today, something they can take, words of advice?
I see people and I read, those letters to the editor and stuff, and people say, oh, how do I find that special person in my life? If you just be a nice person, that will happen. Like, I met my husband. I was helping our mutual friend Nancy to put on a party for her husband when she wasn't well. And unbeknownst to me, she was trying to hook me up with Murray. And we became friends, and here we are, over 25 years together. So, yeah, craziness. People just need to be kind and nice and think about somebody besides themselves. Not that you shouldn't think about yourself, because you should. Because for a long time, I was at the bottom of my list of people to take care of. And that does not work. You have to take care of yourself, too. But I think mostly just be kind. Be grateful for what you have every day. Like, no matter what's happening in your life, every single day you can find at least 3 things to be grateful for. And do it. Because the more you're grateful for, the more that comes to you. At least that's what in my opinion and in my experience, I'm not rich by any sense, but we have a beautiful life. I'm very lucky, and I think it's just because you care about other people. When you care, they care back.
Thank you so much. I love that. That is so inspiring. And Robin, you have no idea how thankful I am for you to share with that today. I just love chatting with you. I've loved being around you all these years. So grateful for your friendship, but grateful that I've had the opportunity to know somebody like you and have you in my life. So thank you again for being on the Divas That Care. And we want to make you one of our wonderful divas. So welcome to our family.
Well, thank you so much. I feel like family to you anyway.
I know.
It's been so long. That's crazy, eh?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for all the advice. And I should ask you, is there anything that's coming up in your life that you want to share with us, anything that you're going to be doing, or talking about anything happening with Party Light?
Well, right now, I'm on a big challenge. They're on a challenge, and so I'm busy with that. I love it because there's always promotions. They've taken what they used to give to hosts and make better prices for our customers, and I love that. So I'm hoping to earn that challenge. One of the parts of it is to have other people do what I do, and of course I love it, so I love sharing that. And my kids start hockey pretty soon, and one of my boys just left yesterday to be part of the Oilers. Sorry about the Flames fans, but because he's from Calgary, so that was pretty funny. So that's exciting. And Festival of Trees is coming, and I always love Festival of Trees every fall. I'm a little decorating freak. I have way too many boxes of decorations, and I love decorating for every season. So this is one of my favorites. And then for my birthday, my husband is taking me on a cruise, so I'm loving it.
Yay! Oh, my gosh,
yeah.
I'm so envious of you. Good for you. Thank you so much. Oh, one of the things I didn't ask you is how can our listeners find you? How can they get a hold of you? Are you on social media?
I am on social media. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And my website is partylight.ca/Robin. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Robin. And to all of our listeners, I just wanted you to know I'm going to be posting Robin's information on our social media, so you'll be able to click on it and check her out. I know that you're going to love it, and please support her in any way that you can. Also, take this program and send it to your friends and family. You never know who's going to be inspired by her amazing story. Thank you, Robin, and thank you to all of our amazing listeners. And remember to do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.